Welcome to Stoic Channel, the space for men who strive to master calm, strength, and wisdom in the chaos of modern life. My name is Joel, and today I want to tell you something most men never understand. Women aren't drawn to compliments. They're drawn to emotions. And emotions aren't triggered by safe, boring words. They're sparked by honesty, surprise, and boldness. By compliments that go beneath the surface, that touch her mind, that make her think about you, not just now, but days later. This isn't about cheap pickup lines. This is about the art of awakening a woman's deepest desire, the kind that makes her unable to forget you. In this video, I'll share 8 forbidden compliments, not because they're wrong, but because they're too powerful when used right. These compliments don't put her on a pedestal. They make her feel valuable, but still mysterious. They don't close the conversation. They open a loop in her mind, one that makes her wonder, what does this man truly see in me? And at that moment, you stop being the pursuer. You become the one she wants. Let's begin. Part 1. There's something about you I can't quite figure out. This isn't just a compliment. It's psychological strategy in the art of attraction. When a man looks at a woman and says, "There's something about you I can't quite figure out," he's not flirting. He's planting a question in her mind. And she's the one who will search for the answer. Women don't remember predictable compliments. They forget lines like, "You're so beautiful," or "Your smile is cute." Those words don't stir the heart, because if she's truly attractive, she's heard it 100 times before. But when you tell her that you can't quite figure her out, you open up a space, a mystery, and she'll want to fill it. Because women don't just want to be seen, they want to be discovered. This compliment works because it makes her feel different in a world full of copies. Creates just enough tension to spark curiosity. Gets her emotionally involved, wondering, what does he see in me? The power isn't in the words, it's in how you deliver them. Pause for a moment. Look her in the eyes. Let it come out like a thought that just slipped out. You know, there's something about you I can't quite figure out. Then stop. Don't explain. Don't clarify. Just let the silence hang. Let the question stay unanswered, because the moment she starts chasing that answer, she starts chasing you. That's when attraction begins to turn into obsession, and once that happens, you won't need to say anything else. Her eyes will say it all. Part 2. I feel like there's a side of you most people never get to see. Some compliments make a woman smile, but others make her pause, reflect, and open up. This isn't just a compliment. It's a key that unlocks her mind. When you look at a woman and say, "I feel like there's a side of you most people never get to see," you're not just praising her, you're understanding her. And in a world where women are constantly judged by looks, style, and words, being understood is what sets you apart. She's used to performing, to keeping up appearances, to living up to expectations. But deep down, what she truly craves is for someone to see the part of her no one else even notices. This compliment works because it makes her feel like she has depth others overlook. Shows her you're different, you're seeing what no one else sees. Makes her want to prove you right, by opening up, sharing, revealing more of who she really is. The key is timing. Don't say this randomly. Wait until she shares a personal story, or laughs in a way that feels unfiltered, or does something unexpected that breaks the image she usually presents. Then look at her, pause, and say it with quiet sincerity. I feel like there's a side of you most people never get to see. That one line will stop her for a moment, because for the first time, someone isn't admiring just how she looks, but who she is deep down. And that's the moment you step out of the crowd. You're no longer the guy trying to impress her. You're the man who makes her want to reveal herself. Part 3. I can't decide if you're trouble or exactly what I need. Some compliments make a woman feel good. But then there are words that make her heart skip a beat. Not because you flatter her, but because you make her think about herself in a way she's never considered before. I can't decide if you're trouble or exactly what I need isn't just a casual line. It's an emotional trap where you, the man, aren't just enchanted, you're evaluating, observing, feeling. Women are used to being complimented, but when compliments come too easily, they're easily dismissed. Because when someone says, "You're amazing," or "I love your vibe," it just places her on a pedestal and hands over all the power. This line does the opposite. It flips the script. Suddenly, she's the one who's uncertain. She has to ask herself, am I trouble or exactly what he needs? Here's why it works. It makes her feel dangerous and exciting, something many women secretly crave. It creates a push-pull dynamic. You're interested but not falling head over heels. It sparks curiosity. She starts wondering, why isn't he sure? What does he really see in me? Let this line land when there's a little banter, teasing, or unexpected spark. She playfully challenges you. You smirk, lean in slightly, and say, I can't decide if you're trouble or exactly what I need. Your tone is everything. Slow it down, let your eyes show that you're really thinking, add a hint of mystery. Don't deliver it like a memorized pickup line. Let it feel like a truth that just surfaced in the moment. Because when you plant uncertainty in her mind, you make her start searching for the answer inside herself. And when she starts thinking like that, you've already taken up real estate in her mind. A typical compliment makes a woman feel nice, but this makes her feel like she's being pulled into something she can't quite control. And that's when curiosity turns into desire. Part 4. You don't strike me as someone who lets people in easily, but I feel like you just did. Some women walk into the room and light it up. They smile, they talk, they charm. But behind it all, there's often a quiet wall, a part of her that not everyone gets to touch. And when you say, you don't strike me as someone who lets people in easily, but I feel like you just did, you're not complimenting her beauty. You're acknowledging her boundaries, and the rare moment she just let them down. That hits differently, because most men only notice what's obvious. But you notice the shift, the subtle change in her tone, the softness in her eyes, the way her guard drops for just a second. This compliment works because it tells her you see beneath the surface, that you're not just here for what she shows the world. It recognizes her strength and vulnerability in the same breath, a balance few men understand. It makes her feel safe, like she can open up even more, and you won't take it for granted. And most importantly, it flips something powerful inside her, because when a woman feels truly seen, not exposed, but respected for her complexity, she starts to see you differently too. Use this line when the moment feels real. Maybe she shares a story from her past. Maybe she shows you a version of herself that feels unfiltered. Pause. Look at her like you're realizing something important, and say it slowly, without trying to impress her. You don't strike me as someone who lets people in easily, but I feel like you just did. Then go quiet. Let her feel the weight of that, because it's not flattery, it's recognition. And that kind of recognition, that's what makes her want to let you in, even deeper. Part 5. You seem like someone who's always in control. But I wonder what you're like when you finally let go. Every woman builds her world on control. She controls how she looks, how she speaks, how she presents herself to the world. She has to, because being a woman in this world demands it. But behind all that strength, there's a part of her that just wants to breathe, to let go, to stop holding everything together. And when you say, "You seem like someone who's always in control, but I wonder what you're like when you finally let go," you're not challenging her power. You're acknowledging it, and gently inviting her into a space where she doesn't have to be perfect. That's rare. That's intimate. That's magnetic. Here's why this compliment works. It shows her you respect her strength, but you're curious about her softness. It creates a subtle emotional contrast between who she is to the world and who she is when she's truly free. It suggests you're not afraid of her full self, even the part she rarely shows. And that's powerful, because women aren't looking for someone to fix them. They're looking for someone who can hold space for their entire being. This line hits best when the energy between you shifts. Maybe she laughs in a way that feels real. Maybe her posture softens, or she lets her guard down for a second. That's your moment. Say it slow, with genuine curiosity, with presence. "You seem like someone who's always in control, but I wonder what you're like when you finally let go." And then leave it there. No need to explain, no need to push, because that one line does what most compliments never do. It sees both her strength and her desire to surrender, and that's a balance she rarely gets to show. But when she does, she'll remember the man who gave her that space. Part 6. You have this calm energy, but I get the feeling your mind never stops moving. Some women radiate peace. They carry themselves with grace. They seem composed, in control, like nothing phases them. But if you look closer, beneath the calm is a storm, a mind that never rests, that questions, that dreams, that overthinks. When you say, "You have this calm energy, but I get the feeling your mind never stops moving," you're telling her something she rarely hears. That you see both her outer peace and her inner chaos, and you're drawn to the tension between them. That's powerful. Because most people only react to what they see, but you're responding to what you feel. This compliment works because it shows you're paying attention, not just to her appearance, but to her presence. It recognizes the quiet struggle inside, the mental world she often keeps hidden. It tells her she's more than just composed. She's alive, complex, and worth figuring out. When to use this? In a quieter moment, maybe after a deep conversation, maybe when she goes silent and thoughtful. Look at her, take a breath, and say it softly. "You have this calm energy, but I get the feeling your mind never stops moving." She might smile, or pause, but deep down, she'll feel something click. Because for once, someone sees both sides of her. And once you've touched that part of her, the part that rarely gets noticed, she'll find it hard to forget you. Part 7. You don't just walk into a room, you shift the energy in it. Some people enter a space and blend in. Others walk in and change the atmosphere without even trying. This kind of presence can't be faked. It's not about being loud. It's not about trying to get attention. It's about something unspoken, a quiet force, a gravity, an energy that makes others stop and notice. When you look at a woman and say, "You don't just walk into a room, you shift the energy in it," you're not complimenting her looks or her outfit. You're calling out something far more powerful, her presence. This compliment works because it goes beyond surface beauty. It tells her she affects the world around her. It makes her feel undeniable, like she has an aura that can't be ignored. It places her in a category above, not just attractive, but unforgettable. Most men don't notice energy. They notice makeup, clothes, curves. But when you speak to a woman's impact, you're speaking to her identity, not just her appearance. This line lands best in social settings. Maybe you've been observing her from across the room. Maybe you're already in conversation, and something about her vibe changes the tone. Pause for a second. Lean in just slightly. Look her in the eyes and say, you don't just walk into a room, you shift the energy in it. Then let the silence hang. Because deep down she already knows it's true, but hearing it from a man who actually sees it, that's unforgettable. And it's in that moment that she starts to wonder what else you notice that no one else ever did. Part 8. You make it hard to tell if you're dangerous or just deeply misunderstood. Some women carry an edge. Not the kind that pushes people away, but the kind that makes you lean in. Curious, cautious, and completely drawn in. They say things others won't. They hold eye contact a little longer. They move like they know something you don't. And in that tension, in that mystery, lies their power. When you look at a woman and say, you make it hard to tell if you're dangerous or just deeply misunderstood, you're not just teasing her. You're naming the very paradox she lives in. The balance between her strength and her silence, her boldness and her pain. This compliment works because it touches something raw and real, the part of her that's been judged before but never understood. It shows her you're not afraid of the complexity she carries. It invites her to let her guard down without forcing her to explain anything. Use this line when the conversation gets real, when there's a deeper vibe, when you sense the fire in her, but also the fear she hides behind it. Say it slow. Let it feel like a confession, like you've been trying to figure her out but haven't yet. You make it hard to tell if you're dangerous or just deeply misunderstood. That one sentence doesn't ask for anything, but it offers everything. Respect, curiosity, permission to be both strong and soft. And once she feels that, she'll see you not just as a man, but as the man who truly sees her. If this video made you think deeper about how to connect with women on a real level, not with tricks, but with truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Because here on Stoic Channel, we're not chasing attention. We're building presence. And that starts with mastering yourself before you ever try to master attraction. See you in the next video.